Hello and welcome to the Tufkuhi podcast. It's Paula, your host, and today I've got a lovely Theresa with me. Theresa is a Tone Up Club member for over 1.5 years. Theresa joined the 5-day reset challenge just at the beginning of me opening Tone Up Club, and since then she never looked back. She's going to share today with you the experiences, how she felt before joining and how she feels now 1.5 years later, and if she's regretting the decision that she made. So keep tuned in. I'm going to keep asking Theresa questions, and yes, let's dive into it. Theresa, when you look back, how did you feel before joining the reset?
So before I joined the reset, I was not in a good place in the whole of kind of my life. So I'd been going through the perimenopause and getting knockbacks from the doctors about being able to have the HRT and things like that. So I had a setback in that, where I was quite active before, with all the perimenopause things came issues with that, which meant I wasn't able to do the kind of exercising that I wanted to do or that I could do before, with all the joint pains and different symptoms. Really made doing things hard. Mood and mindset was really low. Didn't feel like doing anything. So no enthusiasm for even basic things, really. So even then thinking about eating, then you comfort eat. So you've got a lack of motivation, lack of energy. You don't want to go out. You don't want to do anything. And then you just sit and kind of eat, and the weight creeps up. So before the reset, I was at the heaviest I think I've ever been in my life. And I saw that figure on the scale and was like, oh, come on, like you've got to do something. But also I was miserable, and it was facing a future of, is this my life? Am I going to be miserable forever? I've had the worst year. I've had the most miserable year. Is that what it's going to be for the next 5-6 years? And I just couldn't take that was going to be it and that was going to be the way forward, because I just was miserable. Yeah. The most I've ever been the whole time. Rock bottom in every aspect, I think. I don't think I could have got much lower. I had an awful year. Friends and family obviously noticed that, no spark, no me. Yeah, so that was why when I saw the little email about the reset, it was good timing.
But then you decided to join in anyway. So when you look back, why did you join in the reset, even if initially you didn't really feel like doing it?
So the reasons that I actually decided to join, it had popped up, and I think I looked at it for a few days and I thought, am I there? Am I not? Could I do this with where I am right now? Could I put anything into it? Because obviously you need to put something into it to get something out. And I was just sort of, I'm in that place, and I knew that without doing something, nothing was going to change. And I was just sort of in my own head and going, well, why would you not do it? And I think I put this on the chat to you, and I think I said, I can't think of a good enough reason not to. So I'm going to say yes and just go for it, because I felt like it was the right time. I'd just been given the go ahead to have the HRT from the doctor, and obviously they say exercise and things. So I knew I was going to be starting that, and I thought maybe the two could go hand in hand, because if my mood was going to improve from the HRT, it may also improve from the being able to exercise again. So I thought it was perfect timing. It all sort of came at once, and I thought I can't turn it down. I have to say yes.
So happy that you made that decision and joined us. And when you look back, do you remember, how did you feel after that initial 5 days? Do you feel you regretted it? Do you felt any difference? Do you felt proud? How did you feel after that initial 5 days?
After we completed the 5-day reset, I think because I'd done similar things with you before, I already sort of knew what was coming and knew that it had worked for me before. So I didn't have any of that. Oh, I don't think it'll work. I knew if I could put myself into it, it was going to work. And I was just, again, at the end of the 5 days, I was already happier. I was already happier because I'd made the step. I'd done the 5 days, and I know so some 5 days might not feel a lot, but when you're in that place and you're not sure if you can even give something 10 minutes of your time, 5 days is substantial when you're feeling that low. Knowing I was trying something, I was doing something, I was instantly happier, mood better, because I was already thinking, oh, this can be, this can bring something. So going into it with that as well, and slowly started to feel like, yeah, I think I can come back. I think I can get me back through this. Yeah, it was great. It was only 5 days. You can say it's only a short time, but it had a big impact, and it was what I needed to kickstart. It wasn't overwhelming. So it's like, well, it's at the end of the day, it's like, it's 5 days. So if nothing changes, what have you wasted? You've lost a year already of miserable. 5 days is nothing, is it? To give something a go, and what you could get, obviously, is endless, and it could lead on to more things. But you're not really losing anything if you didn't get anything. But I knew I would. I knew that was what I would need to kickstart.
I'm glad you've joined us on the reset and you felt as benefit after 5 days. When you look from the perspective where we are now, 1.5 years later, since you've joined in the reset, how did your life change? How everything worked out for you when you look back?
And I think it took, I suppose, a year to get to where I kind of wanted to be from the start. So to where I thought, sort of not just weight loss wise, but I wanted certain things, and it took about a year to get to that point. And then sort of the next 6 months has been maintaining that and making sure that showing up still, and not just thinking, right, I'm where I needed to be. That's kind of it. So I'm extremely happy that not only did I get to where I was, I'm still there, and nothing's kind of dropped off. I've not backtracked on anything. So for me, that's key as well. What's changed, or the biggest effects on my sort of day-to-day life, is the enthusiasm is back. So I think people will notice I'm much more enthusiastic, much more positive, much more positive mindset as well. And I think that's come from not only getting to where I want to be, but as part of everything else that we have going on within the programme, other people's influences, and the group has helped with that. I'm back doing things I could do before. So before I hit that place, I was running regularly. Myself and my partner loved doing parkrun and events, and then that had to stop because I couldn't run. I couldn't do the impact things. That's all now back, so that's brilliant. We love that. We can do that together, and I'm not saying, oh, you've got to go run on your own because I can only walk. Back out hiking with the hiking groups, whereas for a time I just couldn't have done that. Definitely much more sociable. The confidence is back to go to probably events and things that I would have declined during that time. One, because I didn't feel comfortable, or would think, oh, I've got nothing to wear, because I didn't feel great in my clothes about how I looked. And also, like, just speaking out with people, I just would sit maybe in a corner a bit more in my shell, rather than be the first to jump up and say, oh, let's have a dance, or these things that you do when you go to the family wedding or christenings or things like that. I would just probably be a bit more subdued, or just not go. Whereas now I'm more like, oh yeah, sure, let's go, let's meet up, let's go out. So the spark for life is back. definitely. And I think I've even got some increased confidence from somewhere, which has also come through sort of into my work life as well. So that's kind of improved. And people at work commented and said, oh, wow, you're now, really outgoing, speaking up, you're showing up more. So it's been like a complete a complete lifestyle impact. It's impacted everything, not just sort of how I look, but definitely the social aspect and pushing myself out of the comfort zone, I think. So I've volunteered to do things. I volunteered to do things to help others achieve their goals, which is, or normally I will probably say, very much just focused in my own tight group or myself. So publicly out there helping others, which is very rewarding. But before, I probably would have just not not had the confidence to do it. So massive change on all aspects of the life.
When you look back, T, on the things that you've achieved and looking on everything what you've achieved, if you could pick just one thing that you were the most proud of achieving, what would it be? I know you've achieved a lot, so there's quite a lot to pick from, but just that one thing that you think like you're the most proud of.
I'm most proud of the fact that I didn't give up and I didn't let any negative thoughts come in on the off days. We all have down days where you could just say, oh, no, I just can't be bothered. I knew it would be good, and I knew that if I just push past the off days, I knew that it was worth it. And I'm proud that even if it got tough at times, I never gave up and I just kept going and I stuck with it. Even if sometimes you don't see results so quick, or things that you think you've worked hard and you maybe not seeing it over a shorter period of time. It's consistency and keeping going and knowing that it will come. I think I'm most proud of realizing that. And this is a bit of an out there one, but photographs. I am most proud that this year I will have photos of full body shots on the family holidays and at events, whereas the previous year they would all be cropped sort of here, or I just wouldn't be in them. I'm obviously known for being behind the camera for the most part, but I didn't like any of the photos. There were no photographs, so now I've been, yeah, sure, let's have a photograph. And not only have I been happy to do it, but I've liked them. So I've gone, oh yeah, I actually like it. So that's probably one of my proudest things, because I've never really been a photo person. I never really liked the photos of myself anyway. But I think I've come further, and I know where I was, and seeing those comparisons, it's like, wow, like it's so different. And I can see that the work I've put in, but also the smile. You can see it in the photos. I look back now and I think, oh God, I was trying to smile, but I looked miserable behind the smile. I'm very happy that now the photos that people see are genuine happiness, because I'm happy and comfortable where I'm at. So that there, I think, my proudest bits.
You've done before gym, you've done before different classes, you've done runs, you've been active before. What do you think helped you the most this time around to get the results and maintain the results as well?
So top 3 things. This is really easy, actually, a really easy question. Top 3 things. The first one was the change to the more shorter workouts and flexible. So for me, thinking of doing an hour at a set time of day or something like that in the space that I was in at the time would not have worked. I wouldn't have been able to commit to that or make that fit in, and probably would have maybe had to miss one or not had as much time to do it, and that could have led to maybe feeling I failed a bit. So with the shorter workouts and the flexibility of being able to do them at whatever time fit in, and even say, I don't know, one day you thought you're going to do that workout that day, but that day you've woke up and you've got the really bad ache in the knees, and you just need an extra day's rest. You could just move that one along, and you were still going to do it, still there. You've not missed it, you've not missed out on anything, but you could just have that bit of flexibility which meant a lot, that it took away all those pressures of, I've got this timetable and I've got to stick to this and I've got to check in, and if I haven't done it, I've failed, and that would make you anxious and think, oh, I can't, it's not going to work for me, and maybe put you off. But that for me was definitely a major plus point, because you don't feel the same every day. You can plan as much as you want. I am a planner and I like a plan, but some days life's just not like that, and curveballs come, and being able to just adapt it was the first of the top three. The second one is yourself, the coach, because you were always able to provide alternatives as well. So you were always checking in, or say, I might say, I've got a problem with my knees, or there's a problem with the back. You would always say on your workouts, if you can't do this, you can do this. If you can't do this, you could change it for this. And that again always made you feel like, because 20 minutes can seem quite short, and we pack a lot in 20 minutes, but you didn't feel like you'd got to skip and wait like a minute and think, oh, I just can't do that. So then you were getting nothing out of it. You would always give a low impact option or an alternative. And if we were having any specific kind of problem, we could always come to you and say, this is an issue, and you'd go off and you'd find a way. And that's it, sort of saved us from having to do, I guess, research, or thinking, well, what can I do? Or just being stuck in that mindset of, I don't know what to do. You were always there to encourage and to share the knowledge that you've got as well. And also knowledge of people in the group, that there's something else. Everyone can do kind of something. No matter what you've got, there's a different version. And that also was key, because at times different ailments were brought different things. Inside one week I remember I couldn't do any jumping or any sort of impact when I had my plantar fasciitis problem. And you adapted everything and said, if you can't do this, do this. So that I didn't feel that I couldn't do it or get enough from it. So that one. And the third one is probably for me the group chat and the group support, because you don't get that anywhere else, or certainly not anything I've ever seen is like that. And I think just having that there, and it's helpful surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Our goals possibly not all the same, our lifestyle not all the same, ailments and not all the same, but some things we do have similarities, but the end is kind of the same. We are all wanting to be healthier, fitter, better versions of ourselves each day, and the support that brings, I think, is also key. And you could lay in bed on a morning and think, oh, I don't want to be bothered getting up and doing that 20 minutes today. But you'll see that the group have already started, and somebody will be saying, oh, I'm doing this today, or there'll be another idea. Someone's out enjoying the dog walk, or someone's in the gym, or somebody else is planning a rest day. Even if they say, well, I'm having a rest day, but tomorrow I'm doing this, you've always got that. There's somebody there, and you know that they're going through it and they're doing things as well. And that gives you obviously a bit more motivation as well, if you're feeling like, oh, I can't be bothered or anything. So I think that's really, really good thing that you possibly don't get anywhere else. You certainly don't get that if you're just going to gym. There's not, people are doing their own thing. They're not really interacting or caring whether you're doing better than you did yesterday or helping you on your journey. So that's kind of a bit more personal, and it's like another group of friends. It's like another social aspect as well. And when you see and we chat about everything. So we chat about what people are doing in their lives away from that part of it. It's also inspiring, and you can have conversations with people around. Well, we talk about everything, I think.
Yeah, you've picked some good ones, good 3 points. And when you look on a broader perspective, not just the workout side and community side, because that's the strength of the Tone Up Club. If you look on the holistic progress on everything what you've achieved, and you've maintained as well, because you've not only got the results, but you also maintain the results. And we spoke before about habit creations, about knowing how to start the habits, about knowing how to pick back up after the bad day. If you look on those things as well in a more holistic way, what would you say helped you the most, or what is helping you every day to maintain those results and stick to showing up for yourself?
I think a top takeaway from looking at it as a whole is that we're not trying to be perfect. Nothing's perfect. And when you realize that we don't have to be 100%, like this week, we don't have to be, I don't know, your calories are 1600, 1700 calories, and we've gone 100 over on one day, does that mean, I'll start again next Monday? Or, I've not got the workouts in. I've planned to do 3, I've only done 2. I've failed. It's applying that whole concept of, I think usually probably we're not perfect. We're not aiming for 100% every day. 80-20, I think we usually say, balance it out over the week. I think especially when you start something, you're analysing every part finally and looking at every single bit as it's, I've got to be on that. I've got to tick that, and that every day. And it's not. And once you can get your head around, you're not going to have to do that every day. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can make it fit. There is a workaround, be it with the food. Like some people I know have saved calories in the week because they know they're going to have more at the weekend. Some people do double workouts on 2 days instead of doing 4 days. We swap things around to make it fit for long term. And I love my camping weekends. I go on holiday. I haven't always got a stocked fridge with the best things to eat. You're not always near the healthiest of shops, but I've been able to make it work with the things that I've learned along the way, and the prep and the ideas shared as well from other people's experiences. And I don't stress about any of it anymore because I've got there. But I know in the beginning it can feel a bit overwhelming, and especially if you've just started a new routine and then you've got 2 weeks away and you're thinking, oh goodness, what am I going to do? But the thing is, it fits life and it is manageable, and then you can build it in. You're not going to be forever learning something and trying to implement it and thinking, oh, I need to tick these 3 things today, this is the plan. It will just start to become part of your life and you won't even think about it. So you'll roll from one thing to another. Like my habits, we start, and at the beginning it was hard to think, oh, what am I going to implement? But then once you've got all the tools from the program as you go along, you don't think about it anymore. You just kind of do it. It just becomes sort of second nature, and and then it's more freeing because you've not got that thing that's, oh, I want you to do this and you'll report back to me on this day that we've done this, this and this, and you need to have achieved this level. We increase things as we go for each person. Nobody's checking what weight have you lifted today, T. Was it 2 kilograms more than last time? You're not filling out a gym planner unless you want to, of course, to record these things, but it's all personable and flexible, and you learn it so that you're not thinking about it. Then it becomes sort of a second nature, I think, and that's probably the most of the growing part, because in the beginning when you're learning everything, it can seem like sometimes a bit overwhelming and a lot. But the thing is to remember, you don't have to tackle everything at once. Make a small change and build on that. And that's where it comes from. And we didn't get to this place by knowing all this and doing all this yesterday. This has taken time, and you deserve the time. Give yourself the time. You'll think you might learn something, and something will be the focus at one point, but then you kind of move on and you're looking at something else. But in the back of your head, it's still there. So you sort of still do that naturally. You just kind of not forget. You don't forget it. It's there, but you're just doing it without thinking. So it's sort of become embedded in the back of your mind rather than right, what did I need to do this? It's just sort of, you just do the action because it's already built in the back of your mind.
Yes, I totally agree. In the beginning, it's always quite overwhelming when you're starting and you try to get everything perfect. But with time, those things starting to become more automatic and new normal, as we tend to say. What would you say to someone who's considering starting but is still hesitating? What would you say to that person?
I think, yeah, difficult one, remembering. But for people that are just starting out on the journey, I think maybe we were all there once. Everybody started somewhere, and the only thing that's guaranteed is today. You've only got today. Today is the only thing that's guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, only today. So if you see an opportunity there today, jump on it, take it, prioritize yourself. Don't procrastinate over thinking, shall I, shan't I? You're already in a place where you're not happy. You know, if you're looking for something, then you're obviously in a place where you're not happy. And today's the day. Just say yes. Just jump on it and say yes and prioritize yourself, because it will either be, if you don't take some action, nothing's going to change. So it's got to start with you, and you've got to actually take that first step. And nothing will change, and you'll still, 6 months, 6 weeks, there'll never be the best time, there'll never be a good time. Something will always be going on. So take the action straight away, don't overthink it, and go with the mindset, I guess, of what's the worst that can happen. You know, take the chance. I've proved that I took the chance, and a year and a half later, I'm in a much, much better place. It may not have gone like that, of course, but I'd still be then where I was. So there's no harm in just taking that first action and starting on the journey. It's no point waiting a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that's then a month. Something else has come up, the schedule's full, when will I have the time? If you don't take that first action, you'll never have the time. The time won't come, I think. And that's hard. When you're in a bad place, that's hard to just go, you know, when you're in that place, it's really hard, and you might be full of all other things, thinking, well, is it the right time? Is it? But the reality is, there's never the right time. Something's always going to be there, something, and if you don't take that action, then 6 months time, you're no further forward. You may be even worse, or feeling even worse, or you're the same, and you've lost another 6 months where you could have been so much further forward. Feeling better, happier, just in knowing that you're doing something is knowing that you've taken an action is such a kind of a lift. You can put that thing out your mind. Then you've started. You know, you've made the action, and that can be one thing that's, you know, off and put to bed, because you've taken that action. You're already then feeling like, oh, there's something I'm doing something, you know, I'm doing something positive to change, to get myself out of where I'm at. And that alone is a big thing. Although it can be hard to actually bite the bullet and do it. It's the quickest reward, because you've done it. You've started, that's your first win. You've taken the step, you're on the track.
I think you nailed it, T, in that reply, where there is no perfect time to start, and waiting is not really moving you forward. You either stay the same or you even roll back. So a good point with this one. And I think it is very empowering when you are starting to do something, especially if you're in that place where you stuck for that long, for months and years, from that perspective of actually, you know, I'm regaining my control back. So 100%. I agree with you on this one. And now a question which you didn't expect, a question that I've got and I didn't tell you about it. What are your goals going forward? What would you like to achieve? Because you've achieved so much with your runs, with your walks, with your hikes, with your adventures, with your personal life, professional life. Everything is going forward and you're in a really nice place. Is there still something out there that you would like to achieve? What would it be?
That one stumped me. You stumped me there, Paula. I don't know, because I've had that many kind of goals and things I wanted to achieve, and I'm sort of where I wanted to be, but I'm now just staying. If you like, I want to maintain where I'm at. I've got lots of things planned for hiking, running goals, those kind of goals, and I want to still be going and enjoying things, and like I say, having those photos and being happy to have those memories, going to those events, and still smiling. So staying staying consistent and keeping the happy place that I've got to, really. No specific big aims, whereas before it felt like everything needed changing. It felt like everything needed work on all aspects. But over the last year and a half, every aspect of life has changed. I have furthered myself at work and outside socially, plus also obviously with the weight loss and feeling better, feeling happier, feeling fitter, back running. So just keeping that, I don't want that to go. I'm in a very happy place, and I want to stay consistent and keep that there and keep enjoying it.
Kind of expected it. I expected it that you're going to say that it's all about the consistency and maintaining the results, because you are in that happy place, when now it's all about maintaining it. And I know there are still areas where you will be wanting to push yourself a tiny bit more, or the places you want to see, but that based on your habits where they are in place, I think you've got a very, very strong structure right now. And I feel like it's not going to be a challenge for you to maintain, but there will be still progress to be achieved. And it's going to be, as we tend to say, like that gradual, whenever you feel like it, tiny bit more, step at a time. But I think when we will chat next year, this time, you will be even more proud of the things that you've done. But sometimes we can't predict how much we're going to push ourselves or what is going to come our way. So it's going to be exciting another year together. And when you think about the time as well, the time flies. It's gone so fast at 1.5 years. But then I think it's because we do have those 6 weeks blocks of the workouts where we progressively overload, where we work on that strength, on increasing that and progression within the programs. When we've got our challenges in the winter, when it's like gloomy, we don't want to walk. We're doing our walking challenges, team walking challenges. We do different challenges like dose challenge for optimizing those neurochemicals, happy brain chemicals. So we do those things to break the year. I think like that breaking into the 6 weeks block, adding those challenges here and there makes it so much more exciting. So you don't really even realize that it's already 1.5 years gone.
It's a lot, isn't it? When you think back, it's so much. You don't really realise. I guess because you're doing it in stages, then when you think back, it's like, good gosh, yes, we did all that. It's quite a lot. Oh gosh, it's massive. It's like chalk and cheese last year, well, year and a half ago to now. Chalk and cheese. It's a massive difference. Yeah, we want to stay there. We don't want that to slip. We're staying. Yes, that's probably what's hard to get out to newcomers, probably, isn't it? The fact that it is going to take a long, it's a lot, and you're not going to do it in a few weeks. And probably that is where the difference between like the little red dress or now how we're doing things now is for more of a longer period of time, not a short snapshot. And those things do take time. It does take time. But then we're saying a year and a half, and sometimes I feel like a year and a half, is that it? Like that's gone by so fast. But then in other times I think, oh, we've been all together forever. It feels like forever, and also like, wow, that's gone. Although it does become routine that you're doing it, there's not that boredom. You're not showing up and doing the same program every day for 6 weeks, or it's not the same. Whilst obviously the exercises are quite similar in different programs, but the way it's sort of put out and put together is I don't get bored. I don't like, oh no, God, we're doing this again. Never feels like that. Always feels new, probably because you're doing like 6 weeks or 8 weeks blocks of the program. I think that makes it different as well. rather than just, you go to the spin class and the spin class will be the same practically every week, or, to the gym, you'll probably do the same. You probably stick to the same machines, the ones you enjoy, or the ones you know what you're doing with, and you'll stick to the same thing. Whereas with this, we don't really know what we get into. Well, I don't look ahead. I just put on today's today's program, and it's like, oh, this is okay. Yeah, right. So I think that's one thing that makes it a bit different as well, because, like you say, it keeps that spark and keeps it exciting and keeps us sort of, oh, well, we don't know. We've got this, but we don't know what it's going to be in 6 weeks. What's she planning now? And that makes it for over a long period of time. Like you say, it makes it feel like it's not really been that long, but also keeps the enthusiasm and the interest, I think, a bit of a spark about it. We're like, oh, can't wait to see what ideas you're bringing out, or what's going to be in the next the next block, the good, the bad. It's hard if you've not lived it. Yeah, it's really hard to try and get that out to people, and people probably think that, I don't know if people think that we started here. We certainly did not start here, and we've all got slightly different kind of experiences as well, which you can draw on other people's things other people have perhaps come across, or you can share experiences and things as well. Whereas you're probably not going to tell the neighbour next to you on the squat rack what issues you're having. Your knees are shot, and what else could I do? You're not going to say that to the person in the gym. So yeah, shared experiences as well.
I hope you have enjoyed Theresa's shared experiences and how she's navigated her journey from feeling low and motivated, losing that spark, to regaining that spark back, to started running again, to feeling like herself again. And I hope that's going to inspire you as well to take that action, to take that first step, to not to waste another day in your life. Because as Theresa said, waiting is not really moving you forward. You're either going to be in the same place, or you're going to be even in a worse place. So taking that decision today to start looking after yourself, even if it's the smallest possible step forward, just to make yourself feel proud. And if you need help to move forward, to kickstart yourself, you can join my new program starting on the 18th of May. The program is called She's Back. The name is Purposeful, because I want all women to feel like themselves again, to regain that motivation, regain that spark, regain that energy back, and feel good in themselves. And that's what the program is for. 8 weeks with me. For more details, if you go to the show notes, I'm going to put my details there so you can read a bit more about the program. And then I'm going to put my details as well there. So if you want to reach out, ask me a question, feel free to reach out. I hope you've enjoyed it with us today. Enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, evening, and we shall chat soon. Bye.